Chell Nyquist is an outreach and Purdue Space Day Program Administrator at the School of Aeronautics and Astronautics at Purdue University. Previously, he worked as a project manager for the NSF grant focused on developing engineering design challenges to reinforce science concepts for students all throughout Indiana. He received his BS degree in engineering and physiology from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and a master's in engineering from Purdue. Chell? Go ahead.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Purdue Space Day and some of the scalability opportunities that if others activity is, we'll try to share a couple of tips here. So we'll start out with that the mission of Purdue Space Day is that beginning in about 5th and 6th grade is girls tend to get turned off by math and science. And we also realize that there is a shortage of scientists and engineers within the United States. So our mission for Purdue Space Day is to try to keep students who have an interest in science and engineering engaged and to expand their interest with a fun hands-on opportunity that we call Purdue Space Day. So what is Purdue Space Day? So it's a free annual educational outreach program for students in grades 3 through 8. And it's completely run by university students. So that's a unique aspect of it. And our goal is to provide an opportunity for students to learn a little bit about STEM and to engage in some STEM hands-on activities with a space theme to them. So we've been doing this. This is the 25th year of Purdue Space Day. And what we've learned over the time is in the very first years is they actually went from grades 3 through 12 as we've focused in on grades 3 through 8 over the past 18, 19 years. And we've split them into age-appropriate bandwidths of grades 3 and 4 students, 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th, we pair together to do the activities throughout the day. So looking at it, so back in 1996 when we started this, the very first time is we had 120 students participate, and over the years you can see is we've increased to in 2019 is we had 855 students come to campus, and I'll talk a little bit about our 25th, our 2020 at the end because we decided to really ramp it up for this year. So as you can see is this is just sort of an idea of what it looks like to have all of the kids on campus. So the upper photo is one of our early years where we're able to fit into a smaller classroom. Over the past couple of years as we filled our 7,000 seat auditorium. And as you can see is not only do we have the participants there, but we also encourage the parents to go ahead and stay and engage in the activities with their kids too, so that they can see and experience it also. So some of the impacts that we have with the participants is that they do get to hear a presentation by an astronaut. They get to engage with the astronaut throughout the day. Is the astronaut will go around and interact. They do get to participate in 3 hands-on activities with the space theme. What we do is each year is we select 9 activities. And so we scour the NASA sites for resources there. We also have our students come up with their own unique activities. So for example, one of the activities that a student created last year based upon the Gemini missions is to have students design a Regalo wing. But so these are just some of the things that We do try to make them a combination of team-based activities and individual activities. So in the case here with the Stomp Rockets is we want every student to walk away with a Stomp Rocket that they can take home. With other activities is we challenge them to form into a team and try to come up with a solution, such as creating balloon rovers, or we have an Apollo 13 activity where they're actually trying to essentially get rid of smoke from their cabin environment by connecting hoses to a square opening. So it's how do you fit the things together? How do you get things together to work in order to make sure that you can safely evacuate these types of materials and keep a safe environment for the astronauts? Some of the other benefits for the participants is they do get to come and experience a college campus. So we design it so that they do go from building to building. So we use about 10 buildings, 50 classrooms on campus. So they do get to feel like a college student and walk around and sort of get that experience. We do have all of our student volunteers are college students, so they get the opportunity to interact with them, and the college students get to act as role models. So they get to see what it's like to be a college student and studying the various disciplines. And then also throughout the day is we keep reminding them what it's like to be an engineer or to work in the aerospace industry as a potential career. So on the other half of just as important as our participants, and we've devised a professional development program where the students are actually learning some leadership skills, communication skills, project management. It's a very unique, we're multidisciplinary. So in 2019, we actually had 55 different majors represented, from forestry to finance to aerospace engineering. We try to get a number of education majors in there also to help with the learning objectives. We do make sure that we maintain a vertically integrated approach. Is we want to have all of our volunteer teams be a mix of freshmen to graduate students so that they can see how their careers will progress throughout their undergraduate career or graduate programs. And the other thing that we found is that there's a long-term participation is we hook these students in. So if they join us as a freshman, is we can typically count on them to participate for all 4 years that they're here on campus. And if they go to graduate school, is a lot of them will stay on even longer. So as you can see, is our growth with the volunteer participation is very similar to what it was with the participants. So in the very first years, we had about 40 college volunteers. And in this 2019, is we actually had 388 that wanted to volunteer. And with that is we actually had about 400 sign up, but some of them had other commitments arise. So, and that's a very important aspect to this program, because we do want to make sure that we have a low participant to volunteer ratio. So as we are shooting for about 1 volunteer for every 4 participants, just to make sure that all of the participants do get that role model or opportunity to interact with a college student throughout the day. So the way that we've organized our volunteers is that we have an executive board of 10 students who oversee the entire program. So they work year round. And we typically spend 11 months planning the event. So we start out with 2 directors. So one oversees all of the activities, so all of the training the volunteers on how to do the activities, collecting the materials, checking the learning objectives, doing outreach activities. So that's another aspect that I'll touch on in a little bit. And then the other half is our director of groups. So they're looking after all of the personnel. So all of the participants, all of the volunteers, and making sure that they have a safe and productive or enjoyable program. And the way that we've split it is we've added in a series of assistant directors for continuity, so that after they'll spend the first year as the assistant director, and then they'll move up to the director position in the second year to make sure that we do have that continuity going on. We do focus on a number of different things. So again, is the directors of activities will focus with all of our volunteers that deal with the activities. We also have an education coordinator who's looking out for our learning objectives to make sure, okay, are we actually teaching the students something, and is it at the age appropriate level? We do have an outreach program. So besides having this one-day large event, is we do go out to schools throughout the entire year, or we bring in schools to campus for smaller versions of it. So we'll go out for an hour or two, or bring in some students for a couple of hours so that they get an opportunity throughout the year also. And then on the other side is we do have, again, the groups, and one other aspect that we do have is the operations coordinator. So they're overseeing a lot of the logistics of the day of, do we have the room reservations, where should people be, and keeping track of all that information, so that if parents come in, is they know exactly where their students will be located, and they can quickly find them. So as we found that the volunteers have a lot of benefits from doing this. So we're showing them ways that they can teach, leadership skills, problem solving. So for example, with the Apollo 13 activity and this last iteration we did, is they decided to use the Halloween fog machines. And one of our classrooms, the volunteers there decided to put it directly underneath the smoke detector. So about halfway through the session, yes, the fire alarm went off. So we had to make sure that they were able to get everybody out of the building and get it repositioned so that they can continue throughout the rest of the day and be able to complete that activity. And then there is a lot of teamwork, and also the interdisciplinary aspect, because since we do have 55 majors, not all of them are aerospace engineers. They don't know all of the space information, jargon. So it is very important that they do teach each other what they do need to know in terms of some of the basics of space, and then with the other disciplines, is they can share also different perspectives with the students and with the other volunteers. The students find that it's very important, that it's a great opportunity to give back to the community, and they really do like acting as role models for the children and for the parents. And an example of this is that you never know who you'll quite have as a group leader. So in 2008, one of our group leaders was Laurel O'Hara, and today she's a NASA astronaut. So those students during those years when she was a graduate student here can say that my leader went on to become an astronaut, and she's going to get an opportunity to go to the moon sometime in the near future. So looking a little bit at the overall event, so this is just a view of our check-in. So this is our mission control area. So you can see is we've got all of the information there. One of the things that we have learned is that we used to have everybody actually check in there, and we'd give them their room assignments and distribute them or send them off at that point. as we've learned, when you hit 900 students, it becomes very crowded, and it's very hard then to get the people to disperse to the classrooms in a timely manner. So we did switch up, and they actually do send out an email in advance telling them, here's the room location where your student will be checking in, what group they are in, who the group leaders are, and then directions so that they can actually find it. And if they do have problems, is we still do direct them here, and then the mission control can direct them off to the correct classroom. But what the day typically fills is we do a full day event. So we go from 8:30 to 4:30 with our participants. So they check in, they get to hear an astronaut for an hour, provide some sort of motivational presentation. They run through their 3 activities, and at the end of the day is they do get to pose with the astronaut, and we post all of those photos so they do have a memento with their team and with the astronaut. And then at the end of the day for the volunteers is we do have a wrap party where the astronaut joins them, they eat cake, and they get to actually interact with the astronaut and get some career advice and motivational words too. So that leads us to one of the unique aspects that we have with this program is that we do have a VIP astronaut. It's very beneficial that Purdue has 25 alumni astronauts, so we do count on them a lot. This one isn't. This is Jose Hernandez. His son is actually a graduate student in our department, so that's how we managed to snag him. But they do provide a 1-hour presentation. Jose's was very unique because he talked about perseverance and how as he spent 12 times applying to the astronaut program before he was accepted. So that was a very moving statement for the kids to make sure you never give up and to keep following your dreams. But after that, then they go through and they spend the rest of the day engaging the students, participating in the different activities themselves. So they go around and interact and have a chance to meet with students, and the students actually get to see and have a chance to chat with the astronaut. And you can see, so here are a couple of different other photos of, this is Charlie Walker throwing egg drops out of the window, or these were new spacesuit designs that people were looking at. So what we've done is this past year, due to COVID, is we decided to try out something new. So we decided to create a virtual event. We held it on October 24th, as we had over 4,400 participants from 45 states and 6 countries participate. So it was very well received, and I couldn't believe how far, or the impact that we had, is because we had students in Alaska get up and watch this starting at 10 o'clock on the 24th there. So, and there were a lot on the West Coast that got up early so that they could participate in the event. What we did different this year is we went ahead and, rather than having the students come here and go through different classrooms, is we went over and we broadcast 3 channels live on YouTube throughout the entire day. So you can see as we just spread out across here, and we were all able to work simultaneously as we were working with our Hall of Music, as they provided all of the cameras and the coordination for us. So, and the other thing that we did try out this year, and we realized that this is not a sustainable model, is that we sent materials to every participant for all 9 activities. Since it was our 25th anniversary, we decided to do something special. And normally when the kids are here, they get to see 3 activities, but they don't get to see the other 6 that are going on that day. So we thought, since it was virtual, we'll provide all of them, and they can go back and look at the other 2 channels at a later time and try out some of the other activities. But with that means is that when we were initially planning, is we had we thought at the far extent is we may hit 3,000 people. And through October 1st is we were still at about 2,450. And then the weekend of October 1st is we had an additional 1,600 participants sign up. So that sort of blew some of our plans here. But so we did prep 3,000 sets, and then we posted online is that we did run out of materials, and we are sending out some of the materials that aren't readily available at home. So that was one of the things that we did think about, is that when we design these activities is, are the materials available if they need to get them from at home there. But we did go ahead and we packaged everything, and we shipped over 1,900 boxes out to participants. So again, like I said, I think it was something special for this year, but we will need to look at alternative ways for distributing materials in the future. But it is something that we definitely do want to try again.
Chell, how many more slides do you have to go? Just we're running out, just from a timing point of view.
Yep. So that's the end of my I just want to say is that we are trying some different things here, and I think we've had some success. So if there are any questions with some of the things that we do, or if you want any tips in the future, you're welcome to reach out to me.
All right. Do we? I guess we could share your contact info, folks. I mean, looking at the chat, there's a bunch of questions, so I'm pretty sure folks are going to want to talk to you about this. So I guess we could get your contact info out to everyone who wants to ask questions.
Yeah, I think we better continue, but thank you for that presentation. I have questions too. Your contact information is on the flyer that we've been circulating, so people can get a hold of you.